Well, East-West road. So for God's sake, why will you benefit from this region and then there's nothing to show about? However, even though some of the people, everybody, when they bring people from there, there's a problem. And the issue of agitation that the winner take all is not, for me, I don't encourage it. In as much as there should be merit in terms of appointment. You shouldn't say that it must come from Niger Delta because from Niger Delta, we own this thing. Because the Minister of...
They are shrouded in secrecy. There's no... he should resign. Now, not only that somebody from Niger Delta should step in.
Well, you see, when there's no proper accountability, this is what you get. Do you understand? You don't give appointments to people. It's only in this part of the world, Nigeria precise office holder being accused of certain things and then he still remain in that office. You cannot be a judge in your own case. You cannot be accused and evidences are brought against you over a particular thing that do with corruption, which is the major cause of our present decay in economy and even in our security. All right, and then you still remain in that office, all because you are in the good book of the record of the well, in such a way. In the same society, not even that you have allegations against you, you step aside, all right? But in this part of the world, people just hold on to power, you know, because of the benefit, the things they benefit, and it's not just good for it. Now, the Niger Delta youth, I think, if I must voice out my own contributions or opinion, I think their demand is not too much to be made because you are major appointments, you know, are given to a particular section of this country at this moment. And this kind of thing started right from the time of Buhari and it's extended to the time of His Excellency Ahmed Bola Tinubu under this APC-led government. All right, if you are getting these resources from a particular region and then they have people who are qualified, that's another thing. Not just because it's from region. If they have people that have gone to school who are good in this field, and if you know there is no bias, there's nothing hidden, no shady deals in that department, nothing is wrong in appointing one of them, you know, to head the department there, if what you are doing is clear. You understand? So I think it's high time we begin to do things the way they should be done. It's long overdue under this government. We have a police chief that has finished his tenure. We have other wonderful officers. You retain him. You have INEC, how they manipulate our elections. They put us in these conditions where of insecurity, of bad economy. You retain them. How is it that with out of 200 and something million Nigerians, these are just the few persons that can head of affairs that concerns the whole people?
Okay, staying with NNPCL, I mean, from what we know right now, there were some festive dancing period not too long ago that the Warri refinery is now working, then later the Polako refinery is now working, the Kaduna refinery will soon be back on stream, blah blah blah. All that we hear right now, they will all shut down. Who does business in that way? Who is the company, whether it's Dehu or whatever company that that renovated or refurbished this company? Who is accountable for this thing? We heard lately that Mele Kyari, the former head of NNPC, is under investigation, that his accounts are frozen by EFCC. These things, will anything come out of it? Somebody must be held accountable. Ishaya.
Well, I think for me, this overhaul of a refinery since the time of Obasanjo has always been is nothing but it. Because you will pay a lot of money, billions of money, to overhaul, not to build a new refinery. And at the end, nothing comes out of it. Look at the Dangote, the kind of bold step he took. How much did it cost him to build that refinery? And I think we should be ashamed of ourselves. The NNPCL and whatever they all this should be ashamed of themselves. You cannot even maintain one refinery in terms of overhauling. You go and collect plenty of money, and at the end, there's no accountability, and the thing does not work. It's nothing but a fraud. And those people are still going freely in our nation. So I think it's high time for Nigerians to rise up again. Because if the government cannot do that, because of the government had compromised, the National Assembly have compromised, and other agencies, stakeholders that are in that effect have compromised. Of course, the public should come out and outcry and should see that we can rescue this thing. For me, it's not a rocket science that you cannot build one refinery. If you can collapse one of these, for the past 20 years of democracy, 25 years of democracy, they would have built one refinery. Just you don't need to go overhaul. When you overhaul those, I know most of their equipment are old, and you still go and work on it. You can't get the best product. So I think it's better they copy from what Dangote is doing, even though they are frustrating him. Because I understand he's regretting the way he goes, the way they are fighting him on a daily basis, because everybody felt that that's the way to make money, cheap money, and then at the end the masses, it bogged down to us. Everybody suffering, is crying.
Has it not gotten to the level whereby most of this refinery will be sold? You know, during the dying days of administration, if I'm very correct, he sold, I think, the Port Harcourt refinery or Warri refinery, one of them, yes, or any of them to Dangote. And when the Yar'Adua government came on board, there was some outcry that they must be revoked and all that, which eventually they revoked. For the past, and they've spent billions and billions on them. This, where is it? Where is the company? Where's the guarantee that they gave? What about the insurance? A lot of questions that need answering.
Well, you see, like he mentioned, you know, when the issue is not the companies, the issue is our system and our leaders. All right, our system, inclusive our leaders. Now, when you have a country where, like we mentioned in one of our programs, the value of this cup here maybe is $1. All right. Everybody knows that this thing is sold for $1 in the market, and governments have reasons generating money. Is through the oil and generating money. Is through the oil and he has to say what, and it's going out everywhere at the same minute. So it's rather unfortunate for, you know, there are things that are not expected of. We think as a human being anyway, is not God, that these things he has taken care of them. But you see, we need a leader who will have the ear of the people, listening to people, not a leader that will begin to go after people who are helping by criticizing what is wrong. Because you see, those that are actually within the coffers of the leaders, the kitchen cabinet, those that are benefiting, might not tell them the truth. It's just like you giving me money. Now, okay, fine, this studio, we need diesel to run for 1 week. You give me money for 100 liters. I could go out there and buy only 10 liters and keep the remaining money. Now, a good leader is the one that will take his time, want to know how things are being run. Not just being fed with information and you give it to the whole world. We are here telling ourselves as Nigerians that the truth is not being said yet. Corruption is still very much on ground and is what is taking us backward. That is why you cannot account for turnaround maintenance, you know, of 4 refineries, spending more money than what Dangote used in building the best refinery in Africa here in Nigeria, and servicing us, and is still prepared to serve, to take up the whole Nigeria. Yet, even when Dangote imported vehicles that will make it cheaper and easier for the product to go around, we have Nigerians that were ready to fight him, and the presidency is keeping quiet. So corruption is still everywhere.
All right, now stay with the issue of the protest. I don't know how it took them by surprise that the protest was being staged today. We heard that from the early hours of the morning, they gathered together with banners that the head of NNPC should be sacked. Now, we have the head of NNPC from Kwara State, though Yoruba extinction. From Yoruba, we have the chairman of the board from Northeast, that's Musa Kida. Then we have the minister, who is not very powerful in the day-to-day running of the organization. There we don't know much of him, because of course he controls the. Then we now have also the real minister, who is the president of oil. That's how it has been since the days of Obasanjo. So the president is directly involved. We have in Niger Delta, we have the Shekiri, we have the Robo, we have the Ijo, we have the Ikwere, and so many other ones. Do you think that it will make NNPCL to work better?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to be patriotic. We have to be patriotic to the nation, and secondly, we have character and men of integrity. Because for me, all these things are just mere kind of so that we enjoy. Because the moment they make one of them the GMD of NNPC, you find out that this house become a maker. And
but that doesn't mean
it will work well. Some does, some will not, because definitely it will be distracted. Now, by the time we're there now, you see, the problem we have with the Nigerian state is that whenever they give you a very sensitive position like this, and then if today APC is doing a national convention, they'll go and meet you. They may go to the minister, bring so and so. Maybe you sponsor all the whole, bring the whole list in. Of course, you have no choice. You are not a politician. But of course, the minister will come to, because the minister is a politician, you bring out that money. Not even minding whether anything there is, whether anybody is being paid, whether their salary, they don't care. They can't do it. So those are the problem. Number one problem, fundamental, is corruption. And if you look at the minister who is the president, it was only in Jonathan time that we had a minister who was not the minister that gave it to Desiani. And he found out that Desiani was a bit firm on some issues. But however, you see the way it ended up. There is no way you end. I don't know. If you go to NNPC today and you want to be the big JMD that day, you don't want to be corrupt, they will move you there. Because they will fight the forces that are inside there, will not give you peace. And then you find out maybe you carry your leg and run, or they become diabolic. I don't know whether those are real or reals or they are not. They're just this thing. But in the view there, either you say I won't do it and leave, or else join them, and you see how money is being cut out. Because for me, all this years, for the past 25 years, we cannot even get a stable refinery. The last time they said the refinery was working, was in stream, did you see anything? Since the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the fuel went to 500 naira. Subsequently, it's skyrocketed to 8 to 1,000 plus. Today, it's buying 900 and something. You don't see there's not this, because if there have been a sincerity of operations within the oil sector, within the NNPC, I'm sure there's no way we would have buying for not at least 500 naira.
So are you saying that this protest is justified?
Fully justified. But I hope they will not hijack it as well, because for me, this project, one thing I know, I've been in this ministry for so long. Maybe some of them were looking for how to get their own food and eat. By the time they go out, they do the protest, they will call them and settle them. When they settle them, that thing will keep quiet. All the issues, there's no sincerity among us. Even the media too. If they go and see the media, if the media house is giving them a lot of problem, they'll go and meet one and call them around and then settle one of this. I don't know whether it's true. They settle them, then they'll keep nobody talk. So it's unfortunate that we have mortgaged our conscience against the good things and the good things of how the future will be for us, how wealth will structure us and have a better Nigeria. It's unfortunate.
We don't really see the impact of most of these companies, either through CSR. I know NNPC has a foundation. We've not seen that much of that impact of that foundation in the lives of people in the Niger Delta. Of course, it should not be only for people in the Niger Delta. But of course, this foundation that they commit a particular percentage to should try to reach out to the communities of the Niger Delta people. Of course, we also have the NDDC that also to reach out. But Eli, in looking at this, most of the people that benefit from it, the people that where they get the natural resources from, how come they're in a deplorable state?
You see, it's not just the people where these natural resources come from alone. If you remember when Abacha was alive and he was a commander-in-chief, how much were they deducting and putting into, is it PTF?
No, not PTF.
PTF, Petroleum Trust Fund, yes. You see, so I think
excess crude oil.
Now, it has to do with what we keep talking about. It has to do with corruption. It has to do with corruption. That is a summary of everything that you put together is corruption. When you have a government that do not have any interest in the development of the country, this is the result of it. Because apart from, you mentioned so many things. Now, coming to where these crudes are coming from, how was Nigeria being funded before? We do it by farming, groundnut in the north, palm oil, middle belt south, the east. Then the south will have the cocoa, we have the cotton. But we had leaders who were not in offices because they felt it was their time. We had leaders who were not trying to gather money and keep to buy vote next election. We had leaders whose primary motive and interest was to serve the people. I think the answer and solution to all this problem is for Nigerians to understand that majority of the people in offices do not have our interests at heart. And we have two ways of getting them off the hook and putting the right people. They have made us to be very hungry, so that when they give us little pottage of yam, they'll buy our conscience. Let us get our voters card. Let us insist on electoral reform, so that INEC will sit up, so that the right people will be at the heads of the affairs in INEC, so that our vote will count. As long as we have these people in our political offices, these things will continue. The question you ask will never be answered, because they are having direct benefit. Is it not in this same country where a whole ship that carried crude went missing?
Disappeared.
And what are you talking about? We're talking about the host community. Where is the host community? Where the people that control the army, the navy, the civil defense and everything are having direct deals. They don't give appointment based on merit. They give appointment on who would be answerable to them. These things will continue.
Now, in rounding up this special breaking news, what do you think that these people should do? Ojulari has been accused of so many issues. The son-in-law to Atiku Abubakar has been named in so many of these scams. The APC government said there is no hiding place for anybody. Mela has been interrogated, invited, has his account frozen from what we heard. Do you think we heard the beginning? Do you think we heard the ending of these matters?
That's always the most unfortunate part of it. We always hear the beginning of the story, but at the end of it, you don't even hear how it ended up, because there may be a flip again, or there will be some kind of something will fall, hide under the carpet, and don't come out. At the end of it, they said, go and pay, maybe, but at least they will just say, well, he has been forgiven, or they will just say, well, you go low, you won't hear him again, he has kept quiet, he's seen our forgiven. And it's unfortunate. Join APC, and then you become you become a good man, you become a saint, you become a celebrity, and it's unfortunate. We are not ready for. I really don't think that we don't want this country to grow. But I pray that God, one day, based on our this morning review, God dealt in the affairs of men. I'm sure one day He will help us to navigate out of these woods and make sure to have a better country.
All right, we'll be monitoring this situation and we'll bring you information as it comes. A protest today at NNPCL Towers. Two demands: sack the head of NNPC. Not only that, let a Niger Delta person be there. I can't remember the last time a Niger Delta person headed NNPCL. I think that was Gaius Obaseki, if I can remember very well. But one of my colleagues in the studio said that will not be